We are live. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Creator Talk once again. Myself and Ryan hosting, and we've got Cody from ChefICON here, and we've got, Dave. Dave. Yeah, that's it. Dave, right? Dave, Freedom.
Yeah, I can forget that.
As guest of ours tonight. So we're just going to have some topics. We're going to be talking about some crypto going on with Bitcoin on Monday, and we're going to be talking about Tesla, and we're going to be talking about other topics and also get some updates on our channels as well. So everybody, make your comments. You got any questions for us? Even if you want to jump in on the conversation, I will post. Let's see. I'll post the link down here at the comment side. So you just click on it. You'll be backstage, and away you go. We'll pull you in on the conversation. So, all right, let's get this started. How do we start? Where do we start? You want to start on crypto?
Let's start with introductions, Rick. Cody, I'm newer to Cody. I want to learn about him, and let Dave do an intro. I'll do a brief intro too. So we'll start with Cody.
All right. Well, I got the channel ChefICON. I do a show on there called Driving Up Stocks, where I basically talk about the stock market, some finance. Lately, I've been doing a lot of random ranting, and I do that all on my commute. I'm actually just moved to a new house, and I'm working on some studio space there, and it's going to have some kind of like a car theme or something like that to kind of keep that way I can do better quality videos rather than like, cell phone on the dashboard deal. I've actually got a good camera that I can use now for that. So I'm setting up some space for that, but I kind of want to keep that like driving theme with the driving up stocks. And it's, it's kind of the premise where I started it was just you got a lot of channels out here in the stock sector that say, hey, we can show you how to start from zero and grow your portfolio up to these hundreds of thousands. But then when you actually get into them, a lot of them are like, well, you got to put in $5,000, you got to do this. So that's where I came in and actually started off. I think my first investment was $30. I mean, so you're literally starting out with just the bare minimum that you won't lose any sleep over if you lost all of it just to see if it would work. And I've just been learning from there and growing from that. And now I'm getting into where I'm now that I'm getting some set space, trying to branch out. I just did a collab. I'm not going to spoil anything. Waiting to share that one out once it gets all put together, but it's not anything finance, stock market related. It's just absolutely hilarious, ridiculous. But so I'm starting to try to branch out into some other little niches there. But that's kind of where I'm at, just kind of the everyman learning as I go.
Nice. Dave?
When you said Cody was going to be joining, I thought it was going to be the cynical Cody. I was like, Cody? Nice. We're talking about Citizen of the Year here. So my channel, Hidden Freedom Investing, basically it's just all about investing, really. Started out stock investing, real estate, notes, flips and rentals. Those are gone. Options, dividend portfolio. Pretty much just a wide range of stuff. I have a hard time niching down, so then that's hurting me. But it is what it is. I couldn't probably just talk about one topic because it gets boring after a while. So I am building out a dividend portfolio, and I do have a video come out on Saturday, and so I won't spoil the news. But or there's not real much news. It's just building the portfolio. So that portfolio, hopefully, to build it up to as the notes keep bleeding off, building that up to roughly $900,000, hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, depending on how quick those notes bleed off. I have a feeling a lot of them aren't going to want to hold past 3 years. That's when the interest guarantee is up. So they'll probably end up paying. Some of those people will probably just pay them off, and then I'll get a big chunk of change. And then I'll wish we had a 40% decline. So, that's pretty much it. Most people know me. I've done a zillion live streams. I'm not as popular as Ryan and Rick here, but I did give myself a haircut because my hairdresser is closed. The one I've been using for 7 years, they're closed down. So I gave myself a number one. So that's Dave talking third person.
Steve in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And then I'm Ryan. I co-host with. Is there feedback going on right now?
Yeah, have you got your volume on one of the other channels on tab open?
Let me make sure it's shut.
Oh boy, Dave, there's a number one.
Check.
I don't have a woman, so they can't cut it for me.
Yeah, so I'm Ryan. I co-host the show with Rick here every other Thursday. We do topical things with different content creators, and I run a YouTube channel that's really very vlog type. It kind of just tracks my investments and just kind of giving a real live look at someone, building portfolio, building businesses, and the channel has really been, what my videos have been most successful have been really about my Robinhood portfolio and talking Tesla stock or me buying the car. And so I'm kind of just documenting all journeys. I really want that Tesla to be a nice tax write-off, so I make sure to put in a lot of videos. So but yeah, we got a lot of fun topics we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to go into Tesla, Elon Musk, and crypto later on. But before we jump into that, Dave, I want to ask, I mean, your videos the last couple of weeks, man, have really been they've been phenomenal, like incredibly well done, man. What kind of changes are you making? Is this something that we should keep seeing in the future?
Yeah, what's your secret?
Yeah, I probably because those are scripted videos, so it's just a different format, right? I can narrate it basically is what it is, and I can fill it in with B-roll versus doing like a portfolio update, which is coming out on Saturday. Like you don't script those, so yeah. You're pointing at stuff and all that. So it's just different. I mean, I talked to Kevin and he's helped me out a little bit on it. So nice. You will be seeing more of those in the future. But I still need to get my core stuff that I normally do out. People voted and wanted dividend portfolios, so they're going to get those once a month. And I still like to throw the options in there once in a while because I still do that, and people seem to be interested in that as well. But that niching down thing is tough. So I'm building almost like multiple subs for Fundrise, subs for dividend, subs for options, and it really hurts you. I mean, because the Fundrise people don't care about the other stuff. Some of them don't anyway. People that watch the option stuff, they don't care about Fundrise. So it's really hurt you. Like probably all of your subs you're getting for your Tesla, for example, or probably do they watch the other stuff, right?
No. So there's some crossover, and actually I was talking to my wife about it too. She hasn't like niched down completely either, and that probably hurts her too. But it's all about like, are you like what's the goal? Like you want to have fun with it, or do you want to make it feel like work? Like on top of work and everything else you got going on in life. Like, do you want to force a topic that you don't really feel like talking about?
No, not at all. And the channel is going to morph down the road anyway when I retire. So it's going to morph into more fire related stuff. Hey, I'm living here. I got a portfolio this size. I'm living off of it. And how many channels do that? There's not many channels out there that have retired that are living off their portfolio. Our Rich Journey is one that comes to mind, but there's not many of them out there. So.
Dave, right. It's great. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. If you can carry on after you've retired, living on your dividends would be a great way for it to segue into, your channel. It would be great to see. So interesting for people to continue following you on a different level. It would be so interesting.
Yeah, I'll be, sharing my anxiety. I got this budget and I had this expense.
So Cody, how about your channel? You were saying earlier that you're going to make a bit of a change to it as well, make some, slightly going to test the waters into a different direction. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, the collaboration that I did is with 4 other people, and it's not where I see my channel going. It's just an opportunity that presented itself, and it kind of started off as a joke, and then it turned into, oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Actually, it's so different. I actually got on Twitter and messaged a couple of my good YouTube friends, like Anthony from Malone Money Mindset. He and I had some discussion on something like this, and a couple other people like, hey, do you think with the audience that I have that doing something like this would hurt my channel? And the consensus was absolutely not, especially, it's not something that you're trying to do as a weird thing, but it's like, hey, it's kind of a funny thing. And it's also eventually going to help. Like my fiance is going to be starting a channel, and it's up her alley, so it could lead into something where we could do videos together. but like I said, I don't want to really spoil that one. But initially, when I started doing these, I had talked about getting into more like motivational and more. I'd rather do like, 'cause right now I really only do like updates on my Robinhood portfolio, and I do that twice a week. I see you shaking your head, David. It's. I'm getting there, man.
Laughing at Jerry.
I defend them. I defend them so much, and then as soon as I do, it's like I get my butt kicked for it. Like they had the day that they, 2 days they crashed. Like personally, I got on that cash management, and it took like 3 months to get my card. They lost it twice. So every time I like go on a rant to defend them, it's like they go out of their way to kick me for it or something, like, hey, thanks for defending us, thump. But I mean, right now, I mean, it's really I'd like to do more videos, but honestly, Robinhood portfolio updates, I mean, I can do it twice a week. After that, it's like you're just sitting there trying to make something up. So the most fun videos I've done are the ones that had nothing to do with that. Like I did a video where I broke down ETFs. I did one just talking about like kind of personal wellness, because it was kind of the height at 2 or 3 weeks into this quarantine when everybody was starting to lose their mind, and it was just kind of, how's everybody doing? We did like those. Anthony had those, his sister on his channel, and they did vision boards. So I did those with my kids. And then we kind of made a video on that. I'd rather do more stuff like that, where it's little one-offs or breaking down a particular stock or a sector, rather than just do portfolio updates. Because like I said, that just gets to be a grind. I mean, actually, honestly,
you're right about that, though. Absolutely, the portfolio updates kind of get old. A lot of us we're doing weeklies, and we've switched to a monthly now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work doing a monthly just because there's a lot of information to go over. The videos tend to be a lot longer, but people get sick of, I think, watching the weekly updates. But the sad part is it actually brings in new people every single week when you do them. So it is a bad, like all the creators, I feel bad because they got to watch a video every week, 15-minute video every week. But the sad thing is it actually does help bring in new people to the channel. But
I'd like to move more into being able to get into some more of those breakdowns. I still like to do the portfolio updates, but I honestly, I have more fun doing the other ones, and I want to take more time, especially now that I'm going to have some studio space where I can get comfortable and have a place where I can sit and, be able to edit and everything, that, to actually get down and break down a company and get into the nuts and bolts rather than just a real brief, hey, this is what's going on with this company. It went up or down, and this is probably why, but to be able to spend more time getting into those specifics on that.
Yeah. Ryan, weren't you putting together a studio as well at your place?
Actually, my wife's redoing the room when we first walked in. We're moving the playroom to where I usually shoot my videos. Right. So it's going to be really cool. We're hard on. Always got a project going on in the house. So nice. So it'll be a reveal probably the next couple of weeks. We got some couches and things coming in. So it'll be exciting.
You do it like Mike, that investor. I think he does it in his closet.
Guys, I want to pose a question to everyone in the comment section, and we'll probably first start off with Dave. We'll go around to Rick and Cody. The topic: do you guys agree with Elon Musk that his stock is too high? I want to know everyone in the comment section here too. And we'll start with Dave. Is Elon right? Is his stock too high? And what do you think about his comments on CEO downgrading his own stock? Have we ever seen that before?
I don't follow the fundamentals very much, so I couldn't tell you if it's too high or not. Like, has it gotten ahead of itself? Maybe. It's probably, I'm going to say it's too high just because I want to get back in. So it's pissing me off a little bit. But I did own it, back at like 410 or 415 when we had the big decline in March 23rd. But like I said, Robinhood was pissing me off. So I ended up liquidating everything in that account. And now it's skyrocketed. So you can thank me for skyrocketing Tesla if you own it. So
thanks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you, on a fundamental basis, is that just a hard company to value? Are they a $130 billion company, or are they at 40?
What's the PE right now? What was the earnings? What do the earnings look like? Right. I don't follow any of that stuff pretty much on Tesla. To me, it's more of like it's speculative, number one, but it's a cult following behind it. So it really doesn't follow the fundamentals of what direction it goes, in my opinion.
It's
that's
hard
just
to
from years and years of trading stocks where a lot of stuff just doesn't follow fundamentals when it comes down to stocks like that.
Yeah, I mean, it trades around, I believe, like almost I forget, either it's, I was trying to do a comparison, like a tech, like a forward P that was similar. And I know Tesla's was a bit higher than Amazon, but I think like Tesla was like somewhere in the 90s forward PE, and Amazon was like 73. So like people are trying to like reason the price, you know, why it's so high. But you know, it's obviously not valued like an automobile company.
Are they still losing money, or what? Are they one of those companies that can turn a profit anytime they want, just like Amazon? Amazon, well, this quarter we're not going to post a profit, but next quarter we're going to blow it out. You know, it's like it's hit and miss. You know.
Yeah, they've had 3 consecutive profitable quarters. So if they hit their 4th one, they had the opportunity to get added to the S&P 500, which brings in so many more investors. Anyone that owns VU or things like that now, picking up all of that. So, and I think that's part of Elon's frustration. He's probably not going to be profitable due to the government lockdown. Like, in my opinion, I think he's realizes that's going to hurt.
So what's his issue? Why is he so pissed off then?
He's always kind of had a libertarian strain to him. You know, him and Peter Thiel, who were co-founders of PayPal, they always were more that. You know, but yes, the JMac for the Tesla crypto 2.0 definitely has that. I think as far as bringing new investors, like I have this speculation, like I've been bullish on the market. I think we're more likely to be in a bubble. Companies like Tesla and innovation centers bring so many FOMO investors in the market, and that's why like I'm just bullish on being in the market for the next decade. But yeah, those forward that's earnings, and they've been profitable, and they've broken through. I think electric cars are now 2% of the vehicle market. And like people, like there's all like these theories on disruptive innovation. Like once you hit 2% market barrier entry, you're about to be landslide in like another 40%. Like people think in 5 years, new car sales, the majority will be electric.
I see that, and that's the reason why I want to catch that wave now. But I wasn't going to do an ACATS out of freaking Robinhood, so I just decided to liquidate. Plus, I kind of thought we were going to the market was going to drop about 10% or so to make that W, but I'm always wrong, so do the opposite of what I do.
Likewise, I joined the club on that one. I always phone my friends, I'm buying this stock, sell.
right. So sometimes I try to reverse psychology myself. Okay, I'm going to be buying, which means I should be selling, which means okay, I should be buying. You know what I mean?
How's that work?
Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work at all. Tesla stock too high? Absolutely. I want it to drop down quite a bit, man. I want to grab some shares of this, and I want to jump in on the game. It's got amazing growth potential, but right now I don't have any shares of it. But I think it's overly priced. Have I ever heard of a CEO saying what he said? Musk saying that his stock is way too high, the value of his company way too high? Never heard that before in my life. What's the agenda behind?
Unless he just wants to buy more.
Yeah, well, who was it I just mentioned that he wants his colleagues to buy old.
He just got a $700 million stock bonus because part of his contract was to hold $100 million market cap for 6 months on average. Wow! So he just got $700 million in stock.
Cha-cha. Nice.
Everyone says he collects zero salary, but he has these incentives when they break market caps or that's payment agreement.
Yeah, so, because the salary is chump change to them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, look at Ford. What was it? Their CEO or one of their officers just spent their entire year's salary buying. I can't remember what the amount of shares was. I want to say 100 million, but I could be wrong. But it was like a ridiculous amount of shares. But they said they spent their entire year's salary on it since it's so low right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me.
Jeez.
But I'm sure they've got other perks that they're not hurting losing that salary for the year.
Does anybody own Tesla here right now?
So Tesla's not one I've ever gotten into.
So just Ryan, you don't own it, Rick?
No, not yet.
What's your average, Ryan?
260 shares.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, you're the king.
But I was that was when I was early last year saying it when it was in the low 200s, and I sold some on the first run up, and then the pullback I was with you at 411 and 360, my cost base was 230 before that, but that raised my cost base to 260. And you know what? I think Tesla is in the next quarter will probably not do very well, but I think I just think they are. I think they will likely be like a $500 billion market cap. I still think they could, pretty easily 4x in the next year to two from here. I think they could, get like a Facebook type market cap, realistic. Especially with
the down there around 500 or so.
What's
so
that?
I said they left a gap around 500, so I'll be looking to close that. But
I would probably.
It could. I don't have a problem with fear missing out, so I don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, I would probably become a buyer under 600 again. Just one last leg before. I remember I made that video. I said 950 would be the stock price, and it was still like 300 at that time, and then it actually went to 950 before consolidating back. It'd be interesting to see where it ends the year. But yeah, I want to learn more about. I was talking to JMac about Nikola Motors. I know they were trying to like sue Tesla already, and I know I was talking to JMac. I guess Tesla does a lot of things internally versus Nikola's more of a network. And I just don't know enough about it to really speak intelligently on it.
I had Nikola or VTIQ in that Robinhood account, and like I said, I liquidated everything in there. Everything's out. There's no positions, and that was one of the ones I owned. I was down a little bit when I sold it, but it is what it is. It kind of the profits from Tesla or whatever wiped it out. So I would like to get back into it in my TD Ameritrade account. Their cars and trucks are beautiful compared to Tesla. Actually, Tesla's cars are actually good looking. Their trucks ugly, but the trucks from Nikola were nice looking.
They look amazing.
Get back. I made that video, and I probably got to make an update video about that. So excited when Tesla did the software update to stop at red lights. So now it works. And it's just amazing how accurate the car is, and the way Tesla is using a neural network, they're collecting data from me. So it stops at, it tells me to either, it sees green, it says hit the accelerator to keep on going. It's not like doing it by itself. If it sees red, like I'm going to stop, you just hit the brake to confirm. So every time you do that, it just confirms how well it sees the light or whatever object's telling you to stop. So it's and Elon said in the last earnings call, he's like our self-driving so much better than what the drivers have right now. And I think that could really be a game changer if these cars really have it could capture Uber's market cap, capture there's so many things if they could actually these vehicles legislate. Then you're talking about maybe the most valuable company in the world.
So does it see? So it sees stop signs and stop lights. What if a light bulb was burned out? A green light was burned out, or a red light was burned out? Because I've seen that happen before. It's rare, but what is it going to do then?
So right now, Tesla people who own the cars are betaing. So if it's occurred out there, like the car it'll see it, and then it'll see how the human reacts to it, and then it'll duplicate that on its own when they have the self-driving feature. So he's going to capture millions of miles of data and hopefully every scenario possible.
Like it coming up to a light, but the red light is burned out, so there's basically nothing lit up. It's just what's it going to do with a flashing red light, right? Have you tried it on that? Because when the electricity goes out, they typically flash, so everybody has to come to a stop.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, there's so many intricacies. It's just making the car drive by itself is easy, but all those little human.
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical.
Well, I hope everyone's skeptical if we're going to let these things drive themselves. It's got to, pass a tall test to be allowed.
So Ryan, that software had not been updated when you did your video, correct? So how long after when you did your video did you have to do the update on the software?
Your phone tells you, hey, you have a Tesla software update, just like your Apple does. Yeah. It was 2 days after, and for some reason the last update it started showing that before it didn't even show the red lights on the screen, so it showed it, and I just thought okay. Now stop at it, but I'm still somewhat new. I've only had the Tesla for 4 or 5 months. I learned a lot.
Is it using the speed limits on the side of the road, or is it using GPS maps?
When it sees the speed limit, it puts it on the screen. It sees it and it puts it on the screen.
Is it using GPS maps for the speed limit, or is it using the signs on the side of the road?
I believe it's the signs, because when I pass a sign, it always shows it on the screen.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Good question here of the night, guys. Hang on. Does it recognize speed bumps?
Undulation.
That's a good question.
Only if they have stripes on it.
Yeah, red stripes.
I mean, so it has like going forward, it uses like a sonar. It only has that going forward in there, so it does like feel like it uses something like that where it's reflecting out. Versus everything else on the sides and the back has cameras. It only uses a forward radar. So it should be.
There's no undulations on a freeway, so you'd be going slow most likely anyway.
Yeah. So talking about Tesla. And then, well, I guess the last thing we'll finish on Tesla here, then we'll jump into some crypto. Is what do you guys, on top of that? Did anyone catch in the comment section too? Catch Elon on Joe Rogan today? I don't think anyone.
I read a couple things on an article.
Okay.
Where he talked about Warren Buffett, and I can't remember the other thing I read.
Actually, Buffett's a topic I like to talk about too. But Elon's selling all his physical possessions. He's selling all his houses, and was talking to Dave before. He felt like he's being some doomsdayer, sell all physical possessions. Yeah. It feels like this run to cash, but he said he felt like having material things was weighing him down. Like having material objects, he was like clouding his focus, and like he was gonna like either build like a super mansion for himself, like Tony Stark, with like a chapel roof, the helicopter coming out. And he's like, but like that's all distractions. Like he's like, my real mission is to get like humans on Mars. And he's like, I need to like remove things in my life that like take away mental energy from doing that. And then a big part of what he was talking about, which I found to be interesting, is he's a part of Smart AI. And they're going to be drilling, probably by the end of the year, they want to drill in people's heads and put like this shockwave. That
was the other thing I read, yeah.
And he says it'll be able to bring people's vision back. It'll be able to like repair limbs, and they're probably going to use like the people like the worst brain damage to start off with, and then eventually they want to make you like such a highly competitive human. Is
this goal. This is Elon Musk that said all this stuff?
Yeah, I listened for a little over an hour.
You know what happens? You know what happens when you try to go in too many directions at the same time? You end up going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Let's dig a tunnel. Let's build some cars. Let's go to Mars. Let's work on this space project. Let's drill holes in your head. Jesus.
Yeah.
Focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, I wonder how like much time he can actually put into each thing he's involved with. I wonder if he just kind of puts his name to it, gets good people associated. Like I remember when he started with Smart AI, like he raised $1 billion. Like so he can kind of like he's really good at raising capital. Obviously, like Tesla was able to bleed cash for years. He was good at raising money. So people kind of just follow him and throw his money at him. But most of the conversation I heard had to do with that, which I found to be interesting. Oh, Rodas is here. I actually have a question for Rodas.
Hey, is Musk still involved with his shingles, his energy, his solar powered shingles?
Yeah, and then the last conference call, their goal is they think they can slap on 1,000 roofs a week is their goal. They really want that to be a big revenue generator, So evaluating the stock for some other car company make it more difficult to do. So
is that under Solar City or what?
Wow. No, So actually, the thing I'll be most critical about Elon is that's him personally. He bought out Solar City for billions of dollars. The company is essentially bankrupt. He took Tesla shareholder money and did it. So it's all Tesla now. But he grossly overpaid for the value of Solar City. The company was really struggling at the time. So
is the what do they call it? The Renewable Act or whatever? Isn't that expire this year? It goes. I think it was 4 or 5 years. I think it was 2015 when it got renewed. So. It's supposed to get renewed this year. Do you know?
Is that the car subsidy?
Yes.
I think last year was the last year. I bought my car. That's one of the reasons I was like kind of rushing to do it.
2015, I believe it was. So, and they're typically, I think, 5 years. So I think maybe this year it'll probably get renewed again is my guess.
But my understanding is if you're a new electric car producer, you can still get taxpayers at $7,500 back. So that'll be a big leg up for competition. I mean, that would have been awesome if I could have got $7,500 tax credit. I only got like $2,000 in comparison.
Yeah, it's not just cars too; it's solar panels, the whole system really. Because I mean, when I was looking at going off the grid, I was going to get a whole solar system, batteries, the whole 9 yards. It's like 30% or something you get back.
Impressive. What is Elon Musk's kid's name?
It's a mathematical equation. It looks like it's like
Nicola.
X A E. I don't know. His fiance.
How do you pronounce
it? It's an equation. You can't really pronounce
E equals E C equals M2 squared, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Very relatively like it. Nice. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you guys want to move on to crypto? Unless anybody else has got anything else to say. Like, okay, James got here, I guess.
We should start with Cody on this one. There's the name. That's the name. J-Mac just put it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Greek.
12. Okay. Got it.
Hey, now before we jump on to something else, with Tesla, is his SpaceX project, is that under his publicly traded, or is this like Virgin Galactic where it's a whole separate thing?
Separate name. Actually, so look at everyone see J-Mac put real quick. Elon's put that back. But I saw I don't know if you watched The Office, but they go, I thought XAE. Elon named his son this. And they go, I thought XAE A-12 was a girl's name. I thought that was cool. Anyways,
nice.
But no, they're still a privately held different corporation. You don't really get access to. I mean, there may be some overlap to shareholders, but you're not getting the capital. And I think SpaceX is probably worth $100 billion by itself too, so I don't think it's capped.
Yeah, that's where I was I don't think I ever actually answered before when we were talking about whether or not it was overvalued. So with that being separate, I would say I think it's kind of overvalued.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do what it's supposed to do half the time. It's kind of like, I don't know, Uber's getting a little bit better, but for a while there, you'd get a bunch of negative news about Uber and it would shoot up, and then all of a sudden they'd have the positive earnings and then it would drop. It didn't do what it was supposed to do based on what's going on with the rest of the market or what's going on in the news with them. And Tesla's been kind of the same thing where it does whatever it wants. I mean, it's hard to predict.
Yeah. It's I still think the stock is going to go much higher. I'm still holding on to my shares, and whether it's overvalued or not, I think it's like crypto. Crypto is probably overvalued, but it's probably but it's still likely to become much more overvalued. So as an investor, you have to consider, like, is this asset likely to become extremely overvalued? And that's how I think you make really great gains. And one other thing I really want to, maybe another question before we really get deep into crypto. I think I asked this question. I've been thinking about it. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, all that wisdom. I can't help but feel like critical of him during the stock market crash. Like, he deployed so little capital. I feel like he's, I feel like he's being fearful when others are fearful. Like, I don't think he's
90 years old or whatever. He should be in 90% bonds.
89.
but for his shareholders, Berkshire, they're over the last 20 years, they're like a 7% return. And that's fine. That's good. But I think he's likely to underperform the market by missing this opportunity and actually selling stock in this climate rather than buying stock. Is it fair to be? Well, let me ask this. This will be the question: is Warren Buffett still a great investor? I mean, lately I've been challenging that. We'll start with Dave.
He's great at quotes, I can tell you that, but I'm sure he's a good investor. But, at the same time, does it, like, if you have unlimited capital, I mean, something went down. All right, let me just buy, a couple $1 billion more. Let me buy some more. It's like, you can afford to be wrong because he has time to wait. As long as the company doesn't go bankrupt, that's all that really matters. The way I look at it is, I mean, I don't know how many years he's been investing, but having 1 year where he was wrong, I mean, you expect him to be right every time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what his end goal is. He's old as heck, so I mean, maybe he's just being more defensive, or I don't really know. I don't follow him too much, but I do like his quotes and stuff, and I do like his philosophies on some things, but I don't follow him that closely. So,
right. I mean, he's sitting 30% cash right now. $130 billion of Berkshire Hathaway is still in cash.
That's not that bad. The thing is he's got, I don't know what he's sitting there for though in the cash. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Are you talking about his own money or talking about his, Berkshire Hathaway?
Berkshire for his share.
Yeah, he's still holding a lot of cash. I think he's waiting.
Did he say why? Did he say he thinks the market's going to double bottom or what?
One thing I heard Munger say was that they felt like this was unprecedented, and which I feel like they've seen it all, and maybe it is to some extent, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe he is right, and maybe we are all, this is a dead cat bounce we're in, and he's going to buy much lower than us. But like, I feel like at the end of 2019, he was holding, I forget, like $20 billion in GM, which is not a very good stock, and it has no interest in a stock like Tesla. I understand it's not in his niche, but also like he chose IBM over Amazon. I think like, is the newer economy not, for Buffett? I think it's
that's a good point, Ryan. That's a good point. Like he invested a lot into store, right? Store capital, and for that reason, it's because it's just like the technology was not there. It wouldn't be bombarded by technology. Maybe he doesn't understand it. Maybe it's just something not for him. Maybe
this is something that's never happened ever technically in anybody, not even his lifetime, I don't think. So what, 1918, right? It's the last, Spanish flu, and I don't even know if that came here. So he's probably never been through anything like this. None of us have. So yeah, this is kind of uncharted territory, right? We see earnings this time, but I think earnings are going to be worse next time, So I think the market is, we have a lot of stocks that are making 52-week highs or right around there, and those tech stocks like Microsoft, for example, and there's some other ones, PG and Walmart and J&J, those are staples in your portfolio right near 52-week high, right? So he just I don't know how he's invested. I don't look at the I don't really follow him. I do my own thing, so I don't know.
Cody, we'll get you into this. What do you think? Is Warren Buffett still a great investor?
I think he's kind of one of those that he's caught up in the old ways, and now things are moved towards more computerized picking, where there's not a lot. It's not a person sitting there studying a trend and making buys and sells based on that. That it's a lot more computerized than it was, and I think he's not kept up as much on that. I know he was big in the news. What was it, towards the end of the year, beginning of this year, where the investors are upset because he's being too conservative. And then, like you said, he had a chance to get some capital moving now. I mean, even if he wasn't really interested in any more positions in anything, it was an opportunity where he's got enough capital that if he goes in like he does with any other company and buys a stake at 10, I think he always tries for like 10% or just under 10%. To do that, it would have, been enough to start generating something out there, and he didn't. And he just kind of sat back in the weeds until a week ago when he sold out his airlines. So I think he's kind of seen better days.
As soon as he gets in the stock goes up, right? The Buffett effect. Right. As soon as he gets out of a stock, goes down. That's my time to buy that stock. So I use him as if he's going to get out, okay, I'm going to get in. But I got in. I'm in Delta right now. And I talked about this before. Like, as long as it's not going to go bankrupt, that's all you have. All that matters. It's going to recover eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the same mentality as what Dave has as well. As long as the company's not going to go bankrupt, I'm always in it for long term. So that's where I appreciate Buffett and his mentality, his philosophy, his strategy of going in long term, and just sitting on it. Buy stock and rarely sell it. But yeah, he sells and it tanks. So look out.
Yeah.
So
So Rick, you want to start the next one with Cody? And he's a crypto investor. Get your thoughts on the Bitcoin halving. It's been highly speculated. It's probably pumping up the stock at the moment in anticipation. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin, the crypto market overall? And
I'm actually go ahead. I'm sorry.
And just what are your thoughts on the halving, the hash rate decreasing?
Yeah, I actually see I do new videos on Monday and Thursdays. The one I did Monday, I talked a little bit about the halving, and I hadn't read anything. I'm not real up on crypto. I'm just not a fan of it really, and I hardly know anything about it other than I'll read an article here or there. And I wasn't real sure what the halving meant. I didn't know if that was similar to like a reverse stock split or anything like that. So I actually read a little bit more about it, and it was more, it's not like you're going to get more shares or coins, more coins or less coins. It's just the miners aren't going to be able to pick up and hit like they had been, or they're less like as a slot machine type thing. Like every time they pull that handle, they're not going to have as high a chance of, getting a coin, is basically what I was reading from it. But I know it was, like I said, when we were talking backstage, I have Dogecoin, I have Bitcoin, I have a little bit of Ethereum and Litecoin. Ethereum and Litecoin have just kind of been like, ever since everything crashed, they've just kind of been sitting stagnant. They've gone up a little bit here recently, but ever since the news came out with this Bitcoin halving, Dogecoin took off quite a bit and Bitcoin shot up. I don't even have I don't have even a tenth of a Bitcoin. And I'm up on that one after today. Actually, like before I got on the stream, I think it actually hit $10,000 again.
It's at 10 right now.
Yeah,
it's
so that one went
10.
up. Yeah. The bad thing about Dogecoin, like I have Dogecoin, I have almost 4,000 Dogecoin, but it's like a thousandth of a penny or 2,000ths of a penny is what it trades at. So I mean, you have 4,000, but I mean, it doesn't have a lot of value to it, so it goes up. I can't even remember what the percentage it was up today, but it was pretty significant. But you're only getting like a 15-cent gain with 4,000 coins, because the Dogecoin seems to do pretty well. I mean, that's one that's good. Because it's so low value, I don't know that it's good for like long term. But if you wanted to like do a swing trade or a day trade, that's a good one there, where you can dump a bunch in when it dips, because it goes up and down so much. For the most part, it's pretty steady. But like days like today, it'll start down and then really take off. And then, but like I said, you got to buy a ton of it to make anything at all, because it's such a small value. But
it's a penny crypto.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it was a bit of a coin at first.
So
go ahead.
I just want to ask, so Cody, so you're more just you realize crypto's volatile, so you'll buy it when no like real reason about you just buy it because it's volatile and likely to go up.
I'm more looking at it as like a swing trade type thing. I'm not interested in it long term. Unfortunately, right now the 4 that I have, I've been stuck with a lot more long term than I expected, but I bought in luckily low on them, but and they shot way up and just fell off the table. So now I'm just waiting for it to sneak back up there where I can at least break even. But like I said, Dogecoin and Bitcoin I could sell out right now and have a profit on them, but it's not a whole lot. But the other two I'm going to have to kind of camp on for a while. There's like very slowly starting to sneak back up where they were at.
Ryan, what do you have in crypto?
How many dollars?
No. Like what type of coins do you have?
I'm 75% in Ethereum and 25% in Bitcoin Cash, and these are long positions for me. And like I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin Core. I think that they made a lot of mistakes, and I think they're going to likely pay. And I think the halving is actually going to expose a lot of their thesis that they're trying to build their project around is some kind of store of value, almost like gold. And I think they're missing the historical value on why gold is a good store of value, because it has that long-term track record of being useful currency, which Bitcoin does not. And I think that's why I really liked Roger Ver, forking off the project, and really all he really cares about is adoption and making it useful currency. Like Bitcoin is. For whatever reason, they will not expand their block size. It's controlled by the miners to make massive profits, and to produce one Bitcoin right now is roughly $7,000, and that's what the price needs to go up. So if I think this is going to shake out a lot. The halving is going to shake out a lot of weak miners, and they're going to have to produce at that level. And Bitcoin Cash, I think, likely could in the next bull run. If it does what it needs to do. I think to become a store of value, you need to be a great currency, and they're more focused on that. And what Bitcoin once was, the miners took over the project, in my opinion.
So when you go to a site like Amazon or whatever, can you use Bitcoin Cash to buy something?
Yeah.
Do they still have it? They're still allowing crypto?
Yeah, Amazon allows it. And also there's all different, you can buy in. I mean, there's different like segues, wallets, exchange. Actually, Square is doing a lot to make sure anyone can buy other objects. That's why I'm bullish on Square. And actually, Square had a great day today, even after bad earnings. But Jack Dorsey's a very, the CEO is very bullish on crypto and sees, eventually like this, currency needs a market to compete in. And don't get me wrong, like Bitcoin Cash may not be the end all one. And I like Ethereum. Ethereum is actually my biggest position. It has the most adoption. It has the best developers developing on top of it. Vitalik Buterin's a genius. And I think the proof of work model that the hash rate depends on is actually going to like go away. Like I think they use all that energy, and I think proof of stake is actually I think going to be a better when Ethereum, such a big project, adopts it. It's only going to bring more credibility to it, and you'll adopt so many different kinds of investors that want passive income. And Ethereum doesn't have a finite amount of coins, but they manage the project well. And so those two I think will do very well. I think you could easily 10x your investment in the next big run with either coin. I think you could. I think Bitcoin, looking at logarithmic charts, I think Bitcoin Core will roof in 2023 is about 40,000. When you could do tens times more. And the other top altcoins. And there'll be some other projects smaller that are going to do extremely well. I'm just not smart enough to study all those projects, but I can tell you for sure Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum will do extremely well in the next run.
I think what Dan said there is my whole thing about why crypto is scary to me, because no government's going to at least the U.S. government, they're not going to let that get big. They're not going to replace the dollar with it. They want to have control over everybody's cash, number one. They want to be able to control, the currency in every way possible, right? So they can drive up the debt and spend money that they don't have, and also rip you off through the tax system and all that. And exactly what Dan said right there. And the market cap's so small right now that it's like just a little teeny speck on, a big old picture. So
this is how small the market cap is. It's let's say it's up today 230 billion. The United States government created $2 trillion like that. Like this is a $200 billion market of currency. We made dollars. We made $2 trillion with a snap of a finger. That's how small of a market is. You're right.
And if it's small like that, it's easy to manipulate.
Other
governments can manipulate it real easy, right? So that's the reason why we got off the gold standard to begin with.
Yeah, and I think it's what you could see cryptos go extremely high, like especially like if like governments that can print to buy as much of it as possible. Like if you have a failing government and they want to prove to their people that they have strengthened their currency, they'll massively start buying. I see that happening. I think you'll see a cryptocurrency explode because the government has a failing currency that is now switching to some one of the biggest interest in cryptocurrency is it doesn't have counterparty risk. It's kind of like gold in that sense. It just exists. It's just Bitcoin is just really a mathematical equation. It's not controlled by politicians or this. It's just like this is how much crypto we're going to create over time. Like it's all mathematics. This is how you get it. And I think that's a good foundation versus whimsical politicians that are trying to get votes and pay for votes. Like I think that's why I think the thesis of crypto is great, and how it plays out eventually if it takes over. I mean, it'll likely find adoption in much smaller countries to become overtake dollar. That's many years out, and what that looks like, I couldn't tell you. Hopefully, it's a peaceful transition, but probably not.
Okay, so does everybody understand what is kind of going on here with the halving on Monday? I mean, we're talking and whatnot, but it'd be good to backpedal a bit and say why is there such a.
I had not heard that. So does that mean the market cap is doubling or what?
So basically it does this almost every 4 years, right? When it hits 210,000 blocks. So it started at first and what was it, 2008 when Nakamoto, whatever his name was, I'm not quite sure. It started at 50. So every 10 minutes, miners could pull out 50 coins, right? And then it got halved 4 years later. I
didn't know there were still miners mining Bitcoin. Yeah, I thought it was too expensive to even mine it.
So it went down to 25 coins per every 10 minutes in 2012. And I think the market ramped up big time at that point. And then it happened again in 2016, and now it's happening again now. So that's why it's going to go down from 12.5 coins per every 10 minutes down to 6 and 2.25. sometime on Monday. That's why there's such a demand right now for, the purchase, the buying of Bitcoins right now. So
I wouldn't buy in. I wouldn't buy in right now to catch this pump. I think it'll.
Yeah, tight right now getting it. So
I think there's a run on canaries right now with all the miners. So it's just an inside joke, I guess.
Ryan made a good. Ryan made a good point.
Logical finance.
It's getting so expensive, right? They got to mine in countries that electricity is extremely low in cost. The expense is low, and also they got a colder climate as well to keep everything cool down there as well, right? So there's no AC happening.
But also, Rick, so right now, like to mine a Bitcoin's, let's say roughly $7,000.
Yeah,
that works when Bitcoin is selling at 10,000. They can sell it to the market, so it's profitable to mine a coin.
Yeah.
So it's just that much in electricity, or are you talking about time, like wages? Or are you just talking about electricity?
Everything mining computers, these high-tech mining computers.
That's everything that goes into the cost of production for an average miner. So not just the cost of electricity, everything to run a problem.
If you already have the equipment,
that's the highest expense,
right? You already have the ants and all the ant farms or whatever they call those darn things, right? It's like, you already have it. Then it's like, what's the cost of electricity? To mine a Bitcoin?
Very expensive.
How long does it take for one coin?
So I was saying way back when, I asked this question, hey, do you guys think that Litecoin can shoot up to the hundreds? Anything's possible.
It'll go much
speculate to be the bigger than Bitcoin when it first started too, right?
But I wouldn't buy Litecoin if the founder Charlie Lee doesn't want to own the coin. Why should any investor? I don't understand.
Yeah, that was weird. Sold out on that years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, that wouldn't interest me.
Yeah, strange. So just going over some of these comments and whatnot, but this will be interesting to see what happens on Monday when it does happen. Are people just going to go bullish on this, or what? Or is everybody going to tank?
There's a lot of big guys selling, I think.
So the reason I got out is because I thought Bitcoin and all the other coins were pretty much following what the market did. The market's got, feared out. Everybody got scared, sold. We had the bottom on March 23rd. Well, crypto was following it. So I thought for sure we were going to have another dump in the market, at least, 5 to 10%, which we got close to 5. But I figured that the crypto would dump out too, but maybe I'm wrong. That's the reason I got out. I'm like, all right, well, I figure I'll just wait for it to come back down.
Yeah, the thesis of government printing so much money should play into crypto's hand. People aren't getting richer because more money is being created. It's other assets will go up, contrary to them. So the initial move when the market crashed, like so many people went to the cash for whatever reason because maybe they needed it for basic needs or whatever it was. But so
what's the percentage of people, this is to speculate, that got back into crypto, those same people that sold out? Because here we're already back up to 10,000. If 50% of those people didn't get back in, that means there's a lot of fresh money to get back in.
Yeah. I mean, like being such a small market cap, I mean, so many little people have capital in it. There's so much more room, like crypto or not. Like if you want to make money, it's like Cody was saying, he doesn't even have like a real deep thesis behind it. He just knows that it tends to go up, so that's not a great reason for an investment, but there's a lot of truth that if you want to outperform the market and grow your money, this is do you think like Bitcoin's top was 20,000? Like, does anyone here believe that like that number will never be topped? I think it's likely that it will. I mean,
I think so.
I think it'll get there again.
I really think so.
If the last slaughter in the market didn't clear out all the money to pump it back up, like why is the market still alive? Why are people still investing in it? Like at the last going down 70%.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot more new people got into it, so I think it has potential to even drive higher this time.
Yeah, and that's exciting. When
Gen X got into it. I got into it. I've never owned it. I don't own it right now, but
I heard Gen X bought Ethereum. Is that correct? I heard on the Discord someone told me. I missed it.
He owns both of those, Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Dave, how well did you do when you got out? All good.
I didn't actually have that much Bitcoin. I think in total, I had Carnival in there, Delta in there, those two coins, VTIQ and Tesla, and I made like a couple $100. But honestly, I can't tell you because Robinhood doesn't tell me what the P&L is. That's the reason I would dump Robinhood.
How much you love Robinhood now, eh?
It's annoying. Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out what my P&L is so I can figure out what my quarterly taxes are. But where is it? Yeah.
Dave.
I'll tell you, Dave, it was great for me starting out 7 or 8 months ago, knowing other than just research I did on my own, not knowing anything about stock investing. But now, like, even still being new, I think I've already outgrown Robinhood.
I think that's the issue. People that start out on Robinhood don't know what they're missing until they go to a real broker.
Yeah.
They go to a real broker, it's like, oh my gosh, like, the execution's quick. I get great reporting. You know what I mean? Like I get accurate stats and I get P&L, like right when I sell a stock, I know what my P&L is,
Look at that. A great video to watch when, understanding something like Bitcoin was Gen X's video about the hype cycle. Like if you look at the hype cycle and the current Bitcoin chart or crypto chart, there's a lot of similarities to it. And I mean, Gen X, watch all Gen X's video, but if you're curious about an asset like this that, has like the potential to cause all this disruption and do all these things, gets overly hyped, massively overvalued, which is great for investors who see that before. And then when it can't do everything it says because the technology is really not there, Bitcoin's not really built to scale. It is currently too volatile to be used as currency, and like it doesn't have the adoption in countries it needs to actually be currency, where the volatility is not as bad because people's currency is actually worse. Like all these things that play in the bullet thesis take longer than the hype cycle. So then you have all these people that are disappointed and all these people that made massive amounts of money and want to liquidate, and then you have a collapse in price, and then you slowly have the technology like companies like Square and in products like Ethereum getting into DeFi and doing all these different things for adoption purposes that will likely cause, when you actually start seeing real adoption, there's going to be such a run on that. And like I really think that's going to be and like should I invest in, I wouldn't like recommend like anyone that be their first investment. Like I made a video this past week saying like this is everything I own in my portfolios, but like see like a small portion is like into this, which is very speculative.
Right. Right.
But I want to be like I really respect people that like have like Mark DeMessel's like one of my favorite investors. He has 2 investments. He has crypto and Tesla, and he's crushing it. And he trades it. And he's a multi-millionaire. He just donated $125,000 to Bitcoin Cash for more just to the business to keep on growing adoption.
So he's following Warren Buffett. Don't diversify.
Yeah, there's they call it what, diversify when you
diversify. Well, diversify within the sector, right?
I do have a topic that I'd like to bring up when we're done with this crypto.
Yeah, well, we'll kind of wrap it up here. Any final thoughts in the comments? Or we have Manny here. Manny is one of my few other crypto bulls in the YouTube community that we kind of have, and I think there's gonna be more people that come. The higher the price goes. I mean, I remember YouTube in 2017, all these crypto channels were popping off because everyone's FOMO. And I'll leave it. Maybe we'll finish with this thought. The thing I really liked about this market crash.
I like what Rose says here. This is good. Sorry, go.
Yeah, like the Bitcoin FOMO was because the price is going up. There was FOMO in the market on the way down. Like there was so many people that had never invested that were calling me because they're like, all right, this market's
not missing out. Fear of not missing out.
Yeah, exactly.
So the topic, let me know when you're done with that.
I'm done.
This is an interesting one. I want to get people's take on this thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with crypto. Let's just watch over the next few days and see what happens when it halves. This will be interesting early next week to see what the market does there. Okay, Dave, you got the floor.
I have the floor. This topic is interesting. Does anybody think that this pandemic created recession that we're going to have here reset anything? Has it reset the bubble that we were going to have in, who knows, 2, 3, 4, 5 years when we were going to have that one? Whatever that bubble was, has that been reset by this forced recession?
Yeah, or is this like a fake recession, sort of, right? Forced one. You're right. Interesting.
Who do you want
So
to start that?
are we good for another 7 to 10 years, basically?
Yeah, Dave and I spoke about this the other night. And yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit of a forced recession. I don't think that this, having this pandemic and everything that's occurred right now wasn't scheduled. So
yeah,
sorry.
I think it's plays into the thesis that we're likely to go into a major bull market. The average rate of return of the market over the past, I believe, 5 years was 10% annually, which is pretty modest in like overall standards. But everyone kept on like calling it kept on saying that like we're going to have a market crash. And the way market crashes usually happen is after a huge run up, the tech bubble, the housing market, the crypto bubble. That's when you have real collapses that are fundamental issues. And I didn't really feel like there's a fundamental issue in overvaluation based on like prices going up. Like I believe 95 to 2000, and someone correct me if I'm wrong here, but the average rate of return of the market was like 100%, like insane. Like that's real bubble. So I think now the excuse of like, oh, this is the longest bull market in history, and that's why so many people were scared to see it go up higher. Now I think they'll be like, okay, we just had a correction. Stocks can go much higher now.
I agree,
Yeah.
But whatever bubble we were going to have, because the problem is nobody knows what the bubble was, right? So has that been reset, whatever it was?
Yeah, I mean, I guess by the way I see a bubble is like massively going up in price unsustainably, and I'm not sure which market or sector was doing that. Like, does anyone see a market that was like over rationally exuberant? Or
some people would say the whole market. Some people would say real estate. It's just hit and miss.
But
Sorry, go Dave.
But real quick, when you analyze the returns, I didn't see that. I mean, 10% rate of return in the stock market is somewhat close to the historical rate of return. Like, I know
like 30% last year, right?
Yeah, but the year before it was a red year, and so when the 5-year period was much lower, and I believe 10%. Someone correct me wrong. What was the rate of return of the S&P 500 over the last 5 years? I believe before this pandemic it was 10%. Cody, what are your thoughts on that?
10% is good. Fine with me.
I think it was like 8 to 10%. I think is what they were saying. The rate of return. But yeah, I definitely think this was unplanned. Obviously, I would say give it a year,
conspiracy theories,
maybe 2, and we'll find out if there really was a recession coming, because that'll give time for everybody to adapt to all the different changes that are going on in the different businesses. What they have to do for the when they're coming back to work, all the new precautions they have to put in place. Like where I'm at, we've had to put up different barriers between things. I mean, there's a lot of money that's been thrown into this the past few weeks where I'm at, just to get ready to bring people back to work next to each other if they have to work next to each other. So get all those costs out of the way, see who's going to survive and who's not going to survive. And then once we get some kind of normalcy, which is going to take a year, maybe a year and a half, and then we'll see if that recession was going to hit, or if this did kind of nip that in the bud before it actually happened. If this artificially produced, I guess you'd say, recession is going to be it. And this might have just been what it took to reset everything. Because I mean, everybody was saying, there wasn't a lot of, I mean, it's kind of like a lot of scientific studies where if you read 100 studies, 50 of them say something's going to do this, 50 say it's going to do that. It was the same way with a recession. If you watched 100 YouTube videos, 100 read 100 articles, 50% of them said, yeah, there's a recession coming in the next year, and the other 50% said, oh no, it's rubbish. Just watch your different stocks and be careful what you invest in. So that this would kind of it burst the bubble. It's deflated everything. So
I think
I guess right now we're getting
and Cody got it right
field
here.
out.
I mean, Ryan basically said, yeah, everybody was waiting to put new capital to work, right? So even I put capital to work during this, decline we had. So there was a lot of fresh new capital coming in. So technically it should be driving higher eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will. I think the next kind of again, I didn't think I think we're going to go in a bubble. I think this is the Roaring 20s 2.0. That's my thesis. I talked about in videos why I think we're in the secular bull market, and I really think that people should take a closer look at the relationship between equities and commodities. Typically, equities run for about 20 years, and then we go in 20, and even sometimes longer. Then you go into a commodity cycle. Commodities right now are very cheap. They're very, and pretty much if you go from after World War II, that was a commodity cycle. Then we fell into an equity cycle, the Great Generation, and that ran about till 1970. That's when the dollar did from gold. The commodities ran gold from $25 an ounce to $800 an ounce throughout that decade. And then the thing is, when commodities are very expensive, it bleeds money out of venture capital because people just have to spend more on gasoline, energy. But when the stock market runs for too long, it becomes, when eventually commodities get so cheap, it becomes such a bad business, we eventually have to overpay people to produce commodities. So right now there's a lot of speculative capital that's allowed just because commodities, which drag down our life and our spending, our food and things like that. That's a thesis I kind of follow, and I think we're 10 years to an equity cycle, and we have another 10 years to run. That's I really follow that, and I saw on JMax's live stream the other night. I would actually consider at the end of this thing, maybe even get totally out of stocks and then go into commodities. Like I know, Dave, me and you hate our silver. We're just in the wrong side of the cycle right now. We're in an equity cycle, and we're holding. And I accidentally bought silver because I didn't understand the relationship.
Total waste.
I've been debating just selling at a small. The opportunity cost I have in silver right now, I think about what am I? If I really believe what I just said, I should go sell my silver tomorrow. And I really do believe what I just said.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping.
So you're talking about you're talking about the commodity cycle. Is that when interest rates were 8-10%?
Well, that was Paul Volcker, the chairman during the early Reagan administration. After all the stagflation in the late 70s, interest rates had to go higher, and he actually did that. So he strengthened.
We couldn't even support 2% before the market basically had a crack fit.
Yeah. It's less to do with that. Governments can move interest rates wherever they want. But and the next commodity cycle hit from 2000, 2010. We saw silver go from $4 an ounce to $50 an ounce, and gold.
Well, yeah, I think we'll probably see that in the next couple of years as inflation goes up, but I don't know if it's going to jump to where it was. I'm hoping it does.
Yeah. I think I want to get out of it, if I think my thesis is correct that we're going to sit on our silver and underperform terribly against the market in the next 10 years, I should probably just go sell. And likely I had to put some more money into my business. And I'm thinking I have cash, or maybe I should sell my silver and put it to work in my business.
I could technically get rid of it, I think, for what I paid, but still, it's it's a pain in the butt.
I wish I could say that.
What?
Do you guys remember ever read about the Hunt brothers in the 80s? That when they ran, they price manipulated the price of silver from a couple dollars to $50 in 1980.
Yeah.
That was. I'm hoping for that to happen. Then I'll go sell my silver.
You got to figure out how you sell it too, without causing some sort of $10,000, $10,000 transaction, which gets reported. So you want to keep it below that somehow.
Yeah, I got it in my
black
gold
market.
Hey, Cody, have you invested in any of the commodities? Cody.
Oh, I lost my. No, I have not.
Okay.
Nope, I am strictly just stocks and a little bit of crypto.
I have some silver for you if you want it. Just
I got
$5 above
You know
spot.
what? I saw you trying to pawn that off on
double the price
Anthony's
that it
show the
currently
other
is
night
at.
too.
I got
Yeah.
2 bars.
Yeah. So, but Dave, what was that core question that we kind of jumped off of? It was in regards to the market correction in the recession. Do you think? How'd you word that again?
Basically, whether or not, whatever bubble we were headed towards, which I thought would be 2024 when, I mean, not this political, but if Trump gets reelected, he's out in 2024 no matter what. So they'll probably tank the market. That's what I thought was going to happen. They did it in 2008. So I figured they'd do it again in 2024. So they'll tank the market and say, look, Republicans caused a crash, blah, blah, blah. At least that's what I thought we were going to head towards. But this throws a wrench in that, in my opinion. So I don't really know what would happen in 2024. I mean, this is just assuming he gets reelected. But
yeah, I think, I think Biden got elected. It was still, I mean, I think the market would still be somewhat.
I don't know about that.
What, Trump getting reelected or doing a silver raffle?
I mean, just the market's having issues when, depending on who's, if Bernie is going to get elected and he was looking like he was going to win, then the market was, got scared.
Bernie may have been different. I think, Biden was the vice president with, it didn't have to get political, but with Obama, and the market, was up, I think, 7 out of his 8 years. And
the market had a 50% decline, and they pumped a bunch of money in the market, right? So it's like, it makes sense that it would go up, but why did it go up in 2016, right when he got elected, right? And it jumped up big time too.
Yeah. You typically you hear people say like, oh, a big reason why there were so many videos out last year, the 2020 recession, the market's overextended. Everyone always say like recessions occur every 6 to 8 years. I remember hearing that all the time. So now everyone
7-10 years or whatever,
something like that. Now that we've had a recession, now I think everyone's going to say, oh well, we're likely to go up because it happens every 7. We just came out of this, so I think also just like, where are you going to park your money? Like besides stocks in like cash flow and real, like where else can capital?
I'm in a dividend portfolio. I don't care. Just pay me my dividends. I don't care if the market goes down.
Buy dividend. People are going to buy dividend stocks because where do you get them from? Buying?
Yep.
You guys
had a bunch of dividend raises in April. So
FC baby.
Some big ones too. 6%ers.
Yeah. There you go. Good job. All right. Anything else we want to discuss here, guys? It's been over an hour and 12 minutes. Great job. Great job. It's been the Dave and Ryan show. Good job, guys. That's been awesome.
I'm here to learn. Like I said, these guys are going to take me to school today.
I didn't know you had a number.
Smartest guy in the room. You're not
anybody's here. The fake Cody didn't show up, but the real Cody's here. So I didn't know you had a channel. I'll have to go check you out because I've seen you in the comments. So got my Cody up there. Yeah. The Hollywood Squares.
So I wonder if our community or anything will get political here as the race charges. We've done I think most channels have just like stayed away from anything political, but it's going to be in our face nonstop for the next when's the election? November? The next 6 months.
Yeah. I maybe it's going to get picked back up here in this month. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, scrap it between channels, guys.
YouTube doesn't treat political channels very well, do they?
No, it's a lot of fine dancing you got to do.
Yeah. If you want to talk politics, you can make some.
I can't even say beer virus without getting flagged.
Right.
If you want to talk politics,
thanks a lot. So wait for the stream fight. That's great. No.
If you want to talk politics, you can make enemies in Gen X's Discord chat. He's got a political section there.
Oh, does he?
Oh, it's so easy. It's like,
get over there.
It's crazy how triggered people get. Oh, gosh. And then they come to your channel and then thumbs down everything.
Oh man.
Nice. All right. So what do you guys think? Final thoughts? Anybody got some final thoughts that they want to add to this conversation tonight? Cody, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. Oh no, I just think we had real good discussion. Got the breakdowns on Tesla. I think the cryptocurrencies can be very confusing. And actually, I posted my new video today. I talked a lot about crypto. And I haven't really got to read the few comments that I've gotten on it, but I know there was one that was like, hey, thanks for kind of breaking it up. I did like a really stupid breakdown where I compared Bitcoin mining to like Minecraft, where it's like computer generated world and you get your miner and just randomly, pick up a coin here or there. So I think we really educated people, because I don't know that much. And I openly admit when I talk about crypto that I done very little reading on it. Again, it's more of something I'm not long term. It's more of a swing trade type thing. So, good discussion on that, good education on that, and all the background talk. I'm going to stop there, and you guys are probably actually going to lose me. When I disappeared, I was trying to swap out my chargers because I was losing my charge. So my feet probably going to die.
All right,
just a heads up. If I go black, I'll try to jump back on in the comments or something.
There he goes. He's on his way.
Answer Bin Chen's question. No, we haven't technically hit a recession yet. So the question is whether or not the next couple of quarters, whether or not we do. So
I hope so.
I hope so too.
It's pretty hard. And I heard today on TV, CNBC, Frontier Airlines was on there, and they're talking about having to scan everybody, for a fever and all that, and making people wear a mask and all that. I'm like, I'm not going to travel. Any airline that's going to require me to do that, I'm not going to travel. Why would I? I'm not going to wear a mask on the plane the whole way. It's hard enough to breathe on the plane as it is. So
we got that with Air Canada now in Canada too.
I think a lot of people are just not going to fly for quite a while unless they absolutely have to.
I think good data to look at for that would be, how long did it take Americans to get back on planes after 9/11? And that was probably like
different situation though.
Yeah,
different situation, but I get where you're coming from.
It took about a year from the data I looked at. And
how much did the flights drop down? Because we're down to 150,000 people fly a day or something like that, compared to 2 million that are normally fly.
I know from an earnings standpoint, it took about a year for companies earning. As far as the pure numbers, probably look deeper into it, but I don't think it can get. I think the likelihood of things getting worse from here is very low. I think the likelihood of things getting better, maybe not back to where it was, is more likely. The likelihood of things getting better. That's why, I think it's fair to be critical of Buffett. The likelihood of things getting worse from here, unless it's a bad. I mean, who knows? It could be another black swan event. But I think investing so much on probabilities, you're never. What did Elon Musk say in the Joe Rogan? You have to be. I forget how he worded it, but I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. But anyways, I think people are likely to get better.
So Air Canada just released their numbers this week, guys, and huge loss. It's 1.5 billion, I think it was. And the CEO came out to say that it would take them 3 years to get back to normalcy. And once they get back to their numbers.
Was that the biggest airline up there in Canada?
Yeah. And it's the biggest. Yeah, there's Porter and then there's WestJet as well, but they're both privately owned.
To me, it's I'm not scared to fly. I just don't want to go through the BS. I'm such a stickler when it comes. The process is already a pain in the butt to begin with. You know what I mean? Just to go 2 hours away, it's almost an all day thing. Get there early, go through all this stuff. You got to wait, get on the plane, 2 hours there, and then get off the plane, go get a freaking Uber or whatever. And then by the time you get to the hotel, it's an all day event.
Try flying across the border. Try adding.
That's
card without a Nexus.
Yeah, passport check. You'll fill the paperwork out. Blah blah blah. But getting temperature check. Yeah, that's quick. Throw something in your ear, check it. What if you don't get? They said they'll check you twice. So if you got a fever or whatever, they'll go check you again. Probably checking with an automotive scanner, temperature scanner, not a medical grade one, right? So then you got to wear a mask. It's give me a break.
You just happen to wake up with a fever, one morning, for whatever reason, you're like, great, now I got to fly, I got this fever, kiboshed, you won't be able to go.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily airlines, but in China, I was listening to Catherine Woods with ARK Invest. She's in China, the car sales are already back to where they were pre-pandemic. So I mean, I found that to be really interesting that their economy has already recovered there. Like new car sales have already are back to where they were. So I think I think putting things out there like, oh, it's going to take 3 years to get back to where it was. It only creates better is better for the market is if companies start beating these anticipations. So like kind of like put it out there further. It's going to be worse, and then beat your own guidance, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to fly later this year, probably in like October or something. But if all this BS is still going on, where we got to do this temperature check and wear masks and all that, I'm not going.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. There you
my
go.
customer, no, there's only one person here that knows my customer, but they're opening up this week, so it's been major, scrutiny and all that stuff. It's like a major ordeal. That's why I haven't been around watching people's videos, because I had a Sev 1 the other day, freaking 15 hours worth of work to get it resolved. But yeah, so people are opening up, and it's good to see the country opening back up. And
For you guys,
I think we're opening here because I've seen less cars in the parking lot here. So
we've got curbside pickups happening at a lot of stores here. And on Saturday, the garden nurseries are opening up in hardware stores like Home Depot and whatnot. So you can actually go in.
Home Depot closed?
Well, no, they had curbside pickup. So I went to the Home Depot the other day, and they've got skids around their parking lot. So you just drive into the tunnel, and you drive around, and you just you don't even get out your car. You've ordered it, you bought it beforehand online, and they just throw it. They'll text you, let you know what time to show up. And you show up there, and then you call them, and then they just throw everything in the back of your car. But now, on Saturday, they're opening that up so you can walk around the stores. And then they're opening up a few other storefronts on Monday that you can't go into the store, but they've got tables set up so that you can go up to the table and ask whatever it is that you want to purchase, and the store owner will bring it to the table for you. So actually, you're not physically going into the store. So slowly, it's happening here in Canada and Ontario as well. Slowly.
I think a lot of people start opening up on Monday. So we're one of the states that's opening up, and there's a couple out there,
To what level, Dave?
What's that?
To what level of opening up? What do you?
I don't know. I haven't gone out of my bed, so.
The county north of us, where I do some business.
Yeah, how are you guys doing, right?
So the governor, he left. He kept the 3 counties, Palm Beach County, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, shut to what they were. But he opened up a state where you can go in a restaurant, and the restaurant can seat 25% capacity. So
why even operate at 25% capacity?
Yeah.
A restaurant's they got low margins, number one, but they pretty much have no cash flow. They operate month to month, I believe. Most of them do, especially all the small privately owned ones. It's why would even open up at 25%? I don't think you can pay for anything.
Yeah, I mean, the rent being subsidized. I don't know what you guys are doing in the States, but the rent is being it's a partial subsidized from the government for the rent going on by law, and we have the 75% too for the employment up here as well. So it wouldn't take much to make it profitable.
I don't really care. It's the last thing I would go to is a restaurant anyway. I'm not going to go there and sit by myself eating anyway. So, but as long as I get my bacon and stuff, I'm good. But
do you have a place you order out from?
What's that?
Have a place that you like to order out from?
I do, but it's not keto, so I just don't. I try to not go there. I try to avoid it. It's Middle Eastern food.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
All right, guys.
Sorry, I want to make sure I get everybody's comments down in here and whatnot before we start signing off. It's been an hour and a half. Pretty good. That was good. That was fun.
Good topics.
Fast. Everybody's favorites. So, yeah, you know what? Hey, Dave, what would you like to say as closing comments?
I don't know. Why don't you go first?
Not much to say on this one. Just that, hey, you know what? Basically, everybody stay safe. It was a fun talk tonight. Great discussion as always. Great host, Ryan. Thank you very much, buddy. Dave, always great talking with you as well. Always, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen over this upcoming week with crypto. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen there, how it's going to affect all the markets. Very, very interesting. And with the countries, both of our countries slowly opening up by looks of things on Monday, this will be great to see as well. Get people moving again. It's are you guys starting to get the cabin fever, like just sitting around in the house, just like, okay, I gotta get moving. But well, Ryan, you're moving outside all the time anyways with your business, and Dave, you love being inside, so it's not a big deal, I guess.
I don't love being inside. It's just it's just not
it's just easier.
Like I'm a night owl, so I'll go if I go walking, it's at night, but it's still too cold out.
Yeah. So, but okay, hang on. We got our buddy back here. But yeah, you know what? Honestly, for me, just saying I just want everybody to be safe. You know, have a great time during all this. Look at all the positive. I got a video finally coming out probably on the weekend, maybe, about trying to stay positive during all this and what we can do to be get out the other side and be a better person from it, and what we can learn from this. Take the positivity from it and not the negative. So stay positive. Stay positive.
Answer Gen X's question real quick.
Yeah.
So the place I go to is called Fells, and they have Greek salad, they have falafel, they have shawarma, chicken, they have beef and chicken. The typical like pyramid thing that they cut the chicken off of.
Nice.
So that's my favorite place to go to. But they give they have the homemade they're not tortillas. What are the thick? I forgot what they're called, but just amazing. And that's bread. So I'll just dip it in hummus, and so I don't go there because of that. But
of course not. But
the guy that opened the place back when I got here in 2013 and moved back from overseas. He wanted to go. He actually wanted me to be part owner of the business too, and I wish I did because it's very popular. But the guy is from Turkey, I believe, so he's not. I don't know if that's traditionally where this type of cuisine's from, but he's from Turkey.
Nice.
Cool, awesome, good to have you back.
I just want to say thank you for everyone. Tesla and crypto are two of my favorite topics. So thanks for letting me ramble tonight. That's probably why I was more involved. So
that was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Pita, yeah.
Always great listening to you two guys and Cody.
Yeah.
Pita, there's the word of the day.
That's how long it's been there since I've been there.
And on that note, anybody else? Thanks everybody for joining us on the stream on the side there, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Dave, Cody, thank you very much, guys, for joining us.
Hey,
Ryan,
fantastic.
And on that note, everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks from now. All right. Be safe, everybody. Thanks.
Sounds good. Later, everybody.
Later.
Yeah.
I guess.